Hello, welcome back to the Greater You today. Always great to spend time with you. Today we have a very important topic. So I want you to take a moment and just take a deep breath. Just kind of sit and settle into your seat or wherever you're watching this and check in on how your brain feels. Does your brain feel a bit like mush? Does it feel a little gooey? Does it feel taxed? Does it feel exhausted? So you may be suffering from what we call brain rot. So, oh boy, the good news is we can fix this. At the Greater You, we love helping people fix their brain health as part of our strategic objectives of working on the 7 areas of well-being. So right now, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell and share this with your friends because I promise if you live anywhere in the industrialized world where you have access to smartphones and other devices which you're using to view this very video, you or your friends and family may be experiencing brain rot. Oh boy, let's figure out what this is and go from there. So, what is brain rot and how the heck are we going to get over this? Let's figure this out. Okay, so this is the result of overstimulating, over entertaining, and filling the mind and brain with generally worthless information or content that doesn't promote growth. It actually does promote compulsive and addictive behavior, lacks any intrinsic value, and generally wastes time and brain resources. Dr. Baumeister out of Florida has done research on willpower, and he describes willpower as a daily depletable resource. You refresh your willpower through getting a good night's sleep, doing good pro health things like eating well and taking some rest when you need to. That'll recharge your brain. Well, these activities here of overstimulating, over entertaining, and filling the mind with worthless info and content draws from your daily reservoir of willpower and actually does the opposite. It can make your brain feel pretty squishy, more squishy than it should. An exhausted brain that comes from overstimulation can feel fuzzy. Certainly, you're going to see ties in with this and showing up in mental illness. Things like anxiety and depression are going to be made worse by doing these types of things, not better. So I'm talking about like endless doom scrolling. I'm talking about watching hours and hours of the next TikTok video or whatever platform you're looking at, or even just YouTube videos. Yes, YouTube videos, whatever it is. Or it could be binge watching, episode after episode on any sort of streaming platform. Anything that we're overstimulating, over entertaining, and filling the mind with worthless information or content that doesn't promote growth, but actually promotes addictive and compulsive behavior, pressing that dopamine button in the brain over and over creates some burnout in the brain, and it lacks intrinsic value, and it causes the brain to feel pretty terrible. This overstimulating of our cerebral cortex is not what we recommend for the balanced and healthy life. So think about times when you felt this, times when you felt like, oh my goodness, I've been overdoing this. I have been watching way too many of these episodes or whatever, and you just keep letting it. You don't even have to do anything. You can just sit there on your couch, barely breathing, putting food in your face, and the next episode is just going to auto start, auto start, auto start. You don't even have to think anymore. You are now just existing. Guys, learn from the example of things like Jabba the Hutt from the Star Wars series. Sitting around and having everyone else do crap for you and just entertaining yourself all day long is really not what life was meant for. And we all know this, right? But we all fall into it. Every single one of us have found ourselves staring at our phone saying, wait, why am I doing this? Oh my goodness, I need to stop. So, our goal at the Greater You is to help you protect your mind. Here are a few points to consider, and there is data to back this stuff. Go ahead and look into Google Scholar, and you'll start to see that the data is starting to pile up around this. Screens are wonderful. Technology is wonderful. I'm connecting to people all over the world with my YouTube channel, which that is my goal. I want to share positivity and solutions for the entire world to help people have healthier, more well lives where they feel filled with health and happiness, right? So technology is obviously a tool that can be utilized for good. However, it obviously can be utilized to mush your brain up, and that's what we want to avoid. How do we protect our minds? Number one is set limits on discretionary screen time for you or your children, people that you oversee, 1 to 2 hours of discretionary screen time per day. A whole bunch of gamers just squirmed in their chair and they're like, no way, man, I got to do my next campaign. It's going to take 6 hours. I get it. Gaming is super fun. I've done a fair amount of that myself. My buddies do it. Everyone does it, right? But be discretion, be very like limited, have some limits around this so that you don't find yourself disappearing into cyberspace and losing your way and making your brain into some sort of primordial soup. Okay. So set limits on discretionary time, 1 to 2 hours max per day is recommended in the literature. Think about it. You know those times when you go beyond that and how you start to feel off. Listen to that, to your body and to your mind when it's like, whoa, like tap out, man. Tap out. Stop. Okay. That, getting that achievement on the video game is not as important as your mental well-being, I promise. If there's going to be times, excuse me, where you are online for a long time, create breaks, create ways to move away from the screen at times. Okay, so make your screen time more educational and meaningful. Tune into the Greater You and other good YouTube channels that are actually going to give you things that you can take into your real life and use right away. So making your screen time more meaningful is a good way to protect and preserve and actually educate your mind. So if you use your discretionary screen time to learn a new language, through watching, videos or something in different languages and immersing yourself into different cultures. That's a good example. If you are a particle physicist and you are watching lectures online of things that are going to improve your ability to do your job, that's awesome. Educate yourself, right? Even when you're doing stuff that's more discretionary or relaxing, could it be things that are more meaningful, learning how to do a skill that you have not yet obtained? Those types of things where it's more meaningful and educational can make it so those discretionary screen time hours are not wasted on mind-numbing garbage. I'm not saying that entertainment is bad. It's just that we have a tendency in our societies nowadays where we have access to endless screen time that we flood our system with too much entertainment that isn't really meaningful. And that does not improve the well-being of people. You can't get that time back, right? And once it's gone, it's gone. So on days where work has demanded much of your brain, skip screens that day. Take your dog for an extra long walk, right? Hang out on your back porch and feel the breeze on your skin, reading a book for a longer time. Have a more meaningful, long, in-depth conversation with your loved one, sitting knee to knee and eye to eye. Talk with people, engage with them. So on days where work's demanded a lot of your brain, skip screens, especially point number 4 there, on days where responsibilities had you on screens for great lengths during your discretionary time, skip screens altogether. You can go an entire day with skipping, you'll be on your computer and stuff for work or whatever. I work a lot of remote hours. That doesn't mean that I have to go to screens every time that I have discretionary time. And I'm putting this out there because this is something that we at the Greater You also want to be working on continually. The screens and the variable and the reinforcement schedule that a lot of these things are on, and just the general reinforcement schedule that all of our screens are set on, they're giving us constant reminders, constantly calling us back to them, right? So it takes a lot of effort and discipline and structure to really create some boundaries around this stuff. So that last point there is replace compulsive screen time with meaningful stuff. Music, books, real books, paper books. Wow. Arts, outdoors, meditation, physical activity, time with friends, journaling, any and all real things in the real tangible world where you can interact with people, give them a hug and feel the warmth of their body. Do stuff with real people. If it's alone time, work to make it still meaningful and mindful rather than giving into compulsive screen time all the time. So these are just a few tips on how to protect your mind from that absolutely dastardly thing called brain rot. That is, we're calling it brain rot. What else do you call it? It is a brain that we need to preserve. You only get one of those brains, guys. That one in your head and that mind in there. You need to take care of it, nurture it, and protect it. So that's it for this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Really good to spend time with you guys today. We will talk to you soon and see you in our next video.